This is the 2019 FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. I'm Liam Hodgins, and alongside me is Chris McCarthy, and he'll be taking you through the grid for the start of this AC40 Pro race number 2.
Yep, AC40 Pro, our champion, was crowned yesterday. His name is Mason Foster. He's going to be on the outside of row number 1. Absolutely no pressure on his shoulders now. It is all done and dusted for him. Ethan Sparks is going to start on pole position to his inside. Row number 2, it's going to be Samuel Munson 3rd. Clayton Edmonds will be 4th. Watch for Charlie Huntingford on row 3. He was quickest in warm-up this morning in the tricky conditions. Sometimes warm-up is nothing to pay attention to, but that was the first real time that they came across those conditions this weekend. So Charlie Huntingford definitely could be one to watch. Finn and Werity will be 6th place on the outside of row 3. Row 4 will be Kobe Perry and Warwick Brady. Then it will be Luke Schofield and Max Werity. Greg Marshall and Holly Harris will be on row number 6. Then it is going to be Jacob Stevenson and Keaton Payne. Liam Kiernan will be on the back row. Yesterday's race, it was Foster from Sparks, Edmonds, Munson, Huntingford, Werity, Brady, Kobe Perry, Max Werity and Holly Harris. That's how they finished. Going to go back to Liam now for the race start.
So the adults are just giving the final prep to their race winning sons and kids as they start off this race. Mason Foster doesn't have his usual yellow bike. He's got a championship winning bike, a new colour scheme, but as the riders are ready, the revs are rising, they look to the lights, and a great start from row number 2 from Samuel Munson. Can he make his way into lead? No, he can't. It's still Ethan Sparks, but he moves up into 2nd as they flick their way through the chicane, and Clayton Edmonds slots into 4th just behind your series champion Mason Foster. He goes for a move, does Munson into turn number 4? Yes, he makes it, and Clayton Edmonds makes a move in Foster. So we've got a change for 1st and 2nd, and 3rd and 4th. Munson up to 1st, Clayton Edmonds up to 3rd as they power their way up to Iredale. Turn number 5, hairpin at the top end of the circuit. Through nice and cleanly they go, making their way down towards the S's, and it's still Munson in the lead of this race as they go through turn number 6. So halfway round this first lap at the moment, but Ethan Sparks has made his way back into 1st, and Mason Foster's looking up the inside of Clayton Edmonds into St John's. Can he make the switch back? No, he can't. Into Sunny Bend, but in 5th position we've got 5th nearly catching the back of Foster, but these 4 are off and running at the moment. So to come across the line now, we will give you the order of the top 10. So it's going to be Sparks from Munson, Clayton Edmonds up into 3rd, and he's looking up the inside of Munson for 2nd, Foster in 4th, Charlie Huntingford in 5th, Finn and Werity in 6th. Warwick Brady, look out for him, he's always good in these trekking conditions on bike number 99. Kobe Perry in 8th, Max Werity in 9th, and Holly Harris rounds out your top 10. Have we got a change of position for 3rd? No, we don't. Mason Foster just slots back in behind the number 146 of Clayton Edmonds.
We had a change of position somewhere though through McRae's. There was definitely a move being made in somewhere in the lower order of the top 10. Ethan Sparks leading the way though. It's Samuel Munson who is in 2nd place. Munson under a lot of pressure though. Edmonds and Foster queuing up at the moment. Mason Foster, our 2019 champion, as they come through Paddock Bend, and now down towards the start-finish line. Is Clayton Edmonds going to take a look up the inside? He is, and he's through. Good move that. Clayton Edmonds goes into 2nd place. Mason Foster now trying to have his look to get into the top 3. Have we had changes behind? Huntingford is still in 5th. Finn and Werity 6th, and it's Brady, Perry, Max Werity and Holly Harris as they come out of the hairpin and now down towards the far corner. So that's the long turn number 6. Now down towards St John's they will go, and it's Sparks with a lead of about 1.2 seconds here, but it looks like Samuel Munson is going to be under more pressure as Foster, well, he tried a move, he just went to line up a move there into the penultimate corner. He did that yesterday, and then the very next lap he made that move. So next time round I'm going to be looking out for Foster to make a move.
Mason Foster looking at the inside of Munson into turn number 1. I thought he was about to do Chris, but he didn't, so just backing off at the moment. So maybe he's just sitting back having a little bit of fun at the moment, not having to push too hard in these tricky conditions since he's already got the championship wrapped up. But he's all over the back of the fast starting Munson, making a move up towards Iredale's. Not spot late on the brakes enough from Mason Foster, but we can't forget our second place in the championship, Ethan Sparks. He's commanding the lead at the moment, but Mason Foster is looking every which way up the inside. He will make a move soon on Munson. It will be Paddock Bend because he's done it yesterday. So up the inside comes Foster once again into St. John's. Will he get the switchback? Munson's defending. Will he go around the outside into Sunny Bend? No, he doesn't. So this is a very entertaining battle on track between the 72 of Samuel Munson and Mason Foster as they come across the line any second now. And the gap at the top of the field was coming down, but it isn't anymore. It's 1.36 seconds. But Mason Foster has now passed Samuel Munson up to third position across the start-finish line up to turn 1. He made the move stick. He's 2.5 seconds behind Edmonds in front of him and only 3.8 seconds further back from Sparks. I was about to say that the gap was coming down between the Sparks and Edmonds, but on that last lap there, Sparks put in the fastest lap of the race at 55.777, and he's extended the lead back to 1.3 seconds.
Yep, so Sparks gets a new fastest lap, as you said, to further extend his lead. It's now 1.3 seconds over Clayton Edmonds. Foster has moved up to third. Took him a couple of attempts to do so, but he did get through cleanly when he eventually got there. Munson has now dropped to fourth place. Huntingford is fifth. Werrity in sixth place at the moment. Brady is seventh. Perry is eighth. Max Werrity is ninth. Harris is 10th. Then it is Schofield, Marshall, Stevenson, Payne and Kiernan as they come through McRae's and up towards Iredale's. It's the battle for third place. Since getting into third, Mason Foster hasn't been able to really put a gap between himself and Munson. Munson has stayed with him, so this is encouraging stuff from Samuel Munson, who is fourth in the championship at the moment. Had a particularly good start to the season, hasn't had the best of runs in the second half, so Munson could do some good results to try and end his season as he started it, with some potential wins perhaps, podium finishes. But we're going to have 4 laps to go, 3 laps shall I say, as Sparks comes across the line. He is now in the lead by 1.4 seconds.
Ethan Sparks is well on his way to picking up his third win of the season. He's the only other rider apart from Mason Foster to have picked up a race win so far in this season. So the number 62 of Ethan Sparks has been on the pace, or quicker than Mason Foster all weekend. I remember seeing them out on circuit on Friday and both chasing each other around the track for about 10 laps. So it was very entertaining to watch. But with Ethan Sparks qualifying on pole position, you just feel that in this last race or two that he's really clicked, and he's ever advancing on his third win of the season and second place in the championship. But Mason Foster and Samuel Munson, they're still tagging onto the back of each other. So once Mason Foster got into third, he hasn't dropped Munson, and those were the two that you might remember. Chris crashed on the last lap at Tattershall in race number 3, which meant Ethan Sparks picked up the race win. They were both okay, which was good, but they were both in first and second, crashed on the last lap, and Ethan Sparks was sitting in third. That's when he picked up his second race win of the season. The gap between himself and Edmonds seems to be yo-yoing back and forward, so it goes between 1.2 and 1.4. It's now sitting at 1.3, so with a lap and a half remaining, can Edmonds put Ethan Sparks under a little bit more pressure and pick up his first win of the season?
Yeah, Ethan Sparks. I think since Mason Foster got that championship tied up yesterday, he wants to go out now and solidify his second place. He can't do that today, I don't believe, but Ethan Sparks can put a real healthy distance between himself and Clayton Edmonds. At the moment it is 47 points, so it is quite a fairly long margin. Samuel Munson is only 7 points, I think it's 54. 7 points, so it is just back. So it is it's fairly close, I guess you could say, for third place. But Ethan Sparks will want to solidify this second going into the final round, and he's doing just that, sitting where he is in the race lead at the moment as they come through Iredale's and now down towards the Stuart S's. This is a fantastic job here from Ethan Sparks. He is ridden superbly in challenging conditions. Clayton Edmonds 1.2 seconds back. He may have come off the gas ever so slightly on the last lap, but Ethan Sparks now just has 2 corners to go, and he is going to win race number 2 in the AC40 Pro. He rounds the final corner, and Ethan Sparks takes the race win in race number 2. Fantastic ride from him, and Clayton Edmonds will finish in a superb second place. Mason Foster rounds out your top 3. Ethan Sparks absolutely delighted with that one, takes the race win to get Sunday off to a start with the AC40 Pros. Fantastic riding. Outside of the top 3, it was Samuel Munson. Then we had Charlie Huntingford, Finan Werity, Warwick Brady, Kobe Perry, Max Werity and Luke Schofield. Should be your top 10 in that order. They are yet to cross the line, so we will confirm that for you in just a second. I don't know, I think Max Werity may have been able to make 1 or 2 moves here. Let's have a look. And indeed he did. Max Werity jumped up to 7th place, so a fantastic end to the race for Max Werity. A fantastic last lap, grabbed 7th at the end. Warwick Brady drops to 8th, Perry to 9th. Schofield will be 10th from Holly Harris, Greg Marshall, Jacob Stevenson, Payne, Kiernan sadly not finishing the race, but Ethan Sparks, fantastic ride from him.
It was indeed, picking up his 3rd race win of the season in front of his rival for 2nd place in the championship, Clayton Edmonds. Both high-fiving each other on the cooldown lap as they went up to Iredale's, and Clayton Edmonds delighted with 2nd. Of course he should be. That was a great result, beating of course your series champion, but Ethan Sparks just showing how quick he has been all weekend. Qualified in pole position, was running Foster all the way down to the last lap in race number 1 before they both caught bag markers, but once again today showing his prowess in these damp conditions, and you just feel that this has just been the turning point for Ethan Sparks, and you could see him just growing in stature, growing in confidence for the next 4 races of the season.